On to the fifth inning we go in a 4-1 game. Santa Barbara with the lead over the Derby Twins in this first full day of action at the NBC World Series. Dodge City shut out Seattle Cheney Thursday 8-0, and then Hayes, the defending champs, knocked off the Seattle Blackfin 6-5 on Thursday. Just 2 games to get us started on Thursday. And now again the first full day with 4 games here today. And Santa Barbara so far, through 4 innings, has the lead over the Derby Twins by the score of 4-1. And the Twins are going with the new pitcher here in the 5th inning. Fortunately, we're trying to find a jersey number of 28 on the roster and not quite finding one. Carter Swan. There it is, Carter Swan, the new pitcher for the Twins out of Castle Rock, Colorado, and Metro State, which is in Denver. So it's Swan on in the 5th inning as really, all things considered, Lucas Weaver has to feel pretty good about his performance, one would think, against the caliber of offense of this Santa Barbara team and the way this game started out. 3 errors in the first inning and 3 runs scored for Santa Barbara, but only 1 came across after that. He did scatter 7 base hits, but still, he kept his team in the game, and now it's on to Swan to start the 5th inning. Easton Mumau is the first batter that Swan will face. And Mumau takes for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Mumau, Brenton Clark, and Terrence Keel, 3, 4, and 5 for the Foresters here in the 5th. The 1-0 swung on and a bouncing ball through on the right side between first and second and on into right field for a base hit. So Easton Mumau has his 2nd base hit of the game, a leadoff single, and that'll get Brenton Clark up to the plate. That's just the 2nd time today that Santa Barbara has gotten their leadoff batter aboard, the first by a base hit. The only other time the Foresters got their leadoff batter aboard was in the very first inning when Xavier Esker reached on an error. So here's Brenton Clark now, a big swing and a miss there, and the count's 0-1 to him. Swan will stretch, and the pitch, another swing and another miss, and Swan really has Clark guessing here, and the count is now 0-2 quickly. Swan, a left-handed pitcher, looks over at first, a very short lead for Mumau, and the pitch high and tight for a ball. And the count's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another short lead from Mumau. Swan looks over at first, delivers home, and strike 3 is called, and boy did he freeze Clark, and Clark knew it, and he walks with his head down back to the dugout on the 3rd base side. Beautiful pitch by Swan, and that's the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up Terrence Keel. Keel has 2 base hits, both of them into right field. First pitch to him, in there for a strike, 0-1. It's kind of surprising because Cole Dudding, the 2nd baseman for Derby, is playing almost directly behind the bag. There is a huge gap between first and second, and that's right where Keel put both of his base hits already. Here's the 0-1. And he fouls this one back to the screen, and it's 0-2. But Dudding is on that edge of what is normally the dirt, but here at X Stadium, everything brown you see is actually artificial surface. So we don't want to say he's on the edge of the grass because it's all turf, but what would be grass is where he is, deep behind second base. The pitch is down low for a ball, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Terrence Keel, a Texas A&M product who they call TK. Right-handed hitter. but showing a nice bat to the opposite field. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's got to shorten up here and protect the plate, and the pitch is fouled at the plate, and it's still 1-2. Carter Swan started off his college career at Mesa Community College in Arizona, and in 2023 he saw limited action, just 20 innings, and went 1-0 with a 6.3 earned run average. Then it was off to Metro State in Denver, where he was this past year. Here's the 1-2, and that one bounces in, and down to second base is going to go Muma on what likely will be a wild pitch, as that one was about 55 feet. It bounced well out in front of the plate, and an easy trip down to second base for Muma. So a runner at second now, with 1 out in the inning. 4-1 our score. Santa Barbara with the lead, and once again the Foresters with a runner in scoring position, something they've had just about all night, it seems. The pitch swung on and driven into right field. Drifting in is Muntz. He's going to get there and make the catch, and holding at second base is going to be Easton Muma. So again, Keel goes the other way, this time into right field, though, in the air, and he's retired for the first time tonight on a fly ball to right, 2 away. And that'll get Mick Paul, the left fielder, up to the plate. At Metro State this past season, Carter Swan had a 5.56 earned run average. His record was 2-0. The first pitch to Mick Paul, taken. It's a strike, 0-1. 22 appearances, though, for Swan, and he had 7 saves in 22 2/3 innings. So he did a lot of cleaning up at the end of games when Metro State needed him to. He's out here in the middle innings for the Derby Twins. I say tonight, it's really this morning. The pitch in there for a strike, and the count's now 0-2. Now time is called, and Connor Robbie is out from behind the plate. He wants to talk to his pitcher. Have not seen any flashes of lightning in a while. The game prior to this one was delayed twice by lightning delays / some rain. Got a little bit or a lot of both. For that game, Hutchison and the San Diego Stars, we've seen lightning off in the distance here tonight, but none close enough to delay this game, and clear skies now. Here's the 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3, and down goes Mick Paul. So after a leadoff base hit, Swan able to retire the next 3 batters in a row. And after 4.5, it's Santa Barbara 4, Derby 1 at the 91st NBC World Series. Here's a look at Carter Swan, the left-hander for the Derby Twins, out for his second inning of work. He came on in the 5th inning and faced 4 batters, gave up a leadoff single to Easton Muma, but then retired the side in order after that, and in fact struck out 2 of the next 3 batters, and Swan starts the 6th inning for the Twins. He'll face the bottom 3 in the lineup for Santa Barbara: Sawyer Farr, Zane Becker, and Caden Miller. So 7, 8, and 9 for the Foresters here, and then if anybody gets aboard, back to the top of the order with Xavier Esker. So Sawyer Farr steps in. He is a Texas A&M product who played his freshman season for the Aggies this past year. And the first pitch from Swan to Farr is bunted, and it's bunted foul over the backstop behind the plate. And out of play, 0-1. So Farr trying to surprise the Twins there, and we'll see if he's squaring again. Farr, a $176 at Texas A&M this past season, no homers and 4 runs batted in. Swan works from the stretch, and here comes the 0-1. He is not bunting, and instead the pitch is outside. It's 79, Swan took something off, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Sawyer Farr is from Fort Worth, Texas. 6'4", 190-pound shortstop. That is a tall shortstop. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. That one at 92. So Swan brought some heat there, and the count's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Santa Barbara has doubled up Derby in the hit column, 8-4. They've outscored them by 3 in the run column, 4-1. Here's the pitch, high and away, and the count's now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carter Swan at Metro State in Denver this past season, I mentioned 7 saves, nicely done in 22 2/3 innings. He walked 25 and struck out 33 in 22 2/3 innings again. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and boy did Swan deliver one there at 92 that Farr simply could not catch up to. And that is 3 strikeouts for Swan in the last 4 batters faced. The first batter he faced in the 5th inning was Easton Mumaw, who reached on a single. But since then, Swan has retired 4 in a row, and 3 of them strikeouts, in the last 2 strikeouts swinging. Here's Zane Becker. First pitch to Becker. And that one was a changeup at 77 that misses and then dribbles away from the catcher Connor Robbie for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Becker reached and scored his last time up. Here's the pitch. Fouled back and out of play. And the count's now even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Carter Swan, 6'2", 190-pound lefty who also played basketball in high school out of Castle Rock, Colorado. Here's the pitch, and that one's up high. And the count's now 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the stretch and the pitch. That one misses outside. So the count's now 3-1. Here's the pitch. He tried to check his swing, and he did not. And the count's now full at 3-2. So the count's run full now at 3-2. And here comes the pitch. Big swing and a miss, strike 3, and down he goes. Another strikeout and another one swinging, and boy, is he in a nice groove now. And I have to apologize, but Derby's roster does have number 28 as Carter Swan. This is not Carter Swan. Carter Swan is on the roster at 28 for Derby. But Carter Swan is a right-handed pitcher who goes to Metro State, and this is obviously not a right-handed pitcher. So the Twins did not get the numerical roster updated right before the end, before we started tonight. But nonetheless, this young man is dealing right now, whoever he is, for the Derby Twins. These things happen sometimes at the NBC when these teams get late additions. Sometimes it's after rosters are made. And here's the pitch, and that one misses for a ball. It's 2 balls and no strikes. We'll see if we can't find out who this pitcher is for the Twins before too long. 2 balls and no strikes, and here comes the pitch. And that one is up high for a ball. And it's now 3-0. 4 runs and 8 hits for Santa Barbara, a run and 4 hits for the Derby Twins. Where would this game be had it not been for those 3 Derby errors in the first inning? when 3 runs scored for Santa Barbara. The 3-0 pitch, there's a strike right down Main Street, and the count's now 3 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch, and that one was up high, ball 4. So a 2-out walk, and that is costly for Derby because that's going to send the top of the order up with Xavier Esker. That's the number 9 hitter in the order that just got walked by the Derby Twins. So Xavier Esker steps up now, and Esker has been busy tonight. He's reached base twice. In the 4th inning, he flew out. That's the first time he didn't reach base. And here comes the first pitch to Esker. Swung on and fouled back to the screen, 0-1. So no balls and a strike to count to Esker. And Ethan Brown is actually the pitcher for Derby, we have found out. So, again, I apologize, but it's Ethan Brown, the lefty, who is dealing for the Twins. And the count's now even, 1 ball and 1 strike to Xavier Esker, the second baseman for the Foresters of Santa Barbara. Runner at first, 2 away, 4-1 Santa Barbara with the lead, top of the 6th inning. And the pitch inside for a ball. Ethan Brown is from Chandler, Arizona, and attending Seattle University. Throw over to first, and back standing in easily is Caden Miller. So all that information I gave you about Carter Swan is all for naught. It's Ethan Brown who delivers, and this one swung on and fouled back to the screen by Esker as Santa Barbara again aggressively on the base paths had a hit and run going, but Esker fouls it back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ethan Brown had been attending Seattle University. Here's the pitch, that one down low. And the count's run full at 3-2, but his career is over. His last action was in 2024 when he made a career-high 20 appearances in relief for Seattle University. He pitched in 15 1/3 innings his senior year in 24, and that was a career high. Here's the pitch. That one down low and in again, and that's ball 4. And once again, the runner at first was going, but that's because the count was full with 2 outs. Instead, Miller will easily trot into second base after a 2-out walk, and down to first goes Xavier Esker. Connor Robbie is out to talk to his pitcher Brown now. This is really a critical time in the game because the Derby Twins are hanging around in this one. It's 4-1. As we move toward the later innings, Santa Barbara here with a chance to really blow this thing open now, up 3, but a runner in scoring position. And now they're getting the heart of their lineup up. But if the Twins can escape only down 3 heading to the bottom of the 6th inning, they're very much in this one. So you get the feeling this is a critical stage right here and a critical at bat, and that's probably part of the reason Robbie came out to talk to his pitcher. So here's Cole Chamberlain, the designated hitter. Brown goes through the stretch and delivers, and that one misses high for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. And Brown really had it for a little while as he struck out 3 in a row and 4 of 5 batters faced, but back-to-back walks now. And so you wonder if he has now lost the touch. We'll see if he can get it back. 1 ball and no strikes. There goes the runners, both of them a double steal. There'll be no throw. Stealing third is Miller, and stealing second is Esker. And for Esker, that is his second stolen base of the night. And now a base hit can score 2 for Santa Barbara. And indeed, elevate them from a 3-run lead to a 5 just like that. So a critical pitch here at 2-0. And it's wild. It goes back to the backstop, and everybody's going to move up again. And in to score is Miller on a wild pitch. And it's 5-1 Santa Barbara. Boy, Santa Barbara just continues to score runs and advance runners in this game thanks to Derby miscues. Granted, the Twins have only scored 1 run, and they've only managed 4 hits, but 3 errors by the Twins in the first inning. A wild pitch there allows a runner to score. And now another runner down at third. Here's the 3-0, and that one's up high, ball 4, and a 4-pitch walk to Cole Chamberlain. And there is activity down in the Derby bullpen, and that might be the end of the line for Ethan Brown. And when he was good, he was really good there. A couple batters in for a stretch of several, but then all of a sudden he is issued now back-to-back walks. And I think the relief pitcher that's warming up for the Twins had just gotten up. So as much as anything, this might just be a time killer to get that relief pitcher loosened down in the bullpen. But there will be no change by Colton Flax, the head coach of Derby, as of yet. So Brown will stay out there. But he's got a very dangerous Easton Mumau he's got to face here. Runners at the corners, 2 away, top of the 6th inning. Santa Barbara has scratched 1 across, and they're looking for more, leading by the score of 5-1. Easton Mumau with a couple of base hits on the day. And a throw over to first base, and back standing up is Cole Chamberlain. And now they've called a balk. So they've called a balk, and everybody is going to get to move up, including the runner at third, Esker, who will score. So down to second base goes Chamberlain, and in to score is Esker. As maybe it was that hesitation right there that was the reason for the balk. Kind of a deceptive move that looked like he was coming home. He paused and then threw over to first base. Sometimes balks can be very subtle, but nonetheless, that one was costly for sure for Derby as it's 6-1. There goes the runner now heading down to third, and another stolen base for Santa Barbara as Chamberlain has stolen third. Boy, this Santa Barbara team just continues to stay aggressive on the base paths. And now they've got another runner 90 feet away. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled back to the screen. And the count's now 1 ball and 1 strike to Easton Mumau. So when the Twins look back at this one, if indeed they don't end up victorious, it will be a lot of those miscues that happened out in the field with their pitching and defense. Fastball outside. That one at 88, but just missed away, and it's 2-1. But it'll be those 3 first-inning errors, some wild pitches, and a lot of things that happened when they weren't at the plate, I think, that will be the most frustrating if Derby is not to win this game. Pitch down low. It's a ball, and the count's now 3-1. And also here in this inning, the lack of control all of a sudden for Ethan Brown, who has just lost it. 3 balls and a strike here. Can he avoid another walk? The 3-1 swung on and a hot shot over to second, fielded on a hop by Dudding. He'll throw to first in time for a 4-3 putout, and the side retired, but not before Santa Barbara scores 2 more. They've added to their lead. Forrester 6, Derby 1 at the 91st NBC World Series after 5.5.